But all right. So I am so excited for the Zoom. You guys are going to hear it in the background. It just is what it is. But I love tips from the top Zooms, obviously, because you can hear all the things of what's working, what's going on. But I'm super excited about this because Allie, our guest tonight, she has been in the business for a hot minute. And I think that that's really the cool thing, especially when you look at this business and everything else that's going on, and just life and all the things, and just having been through it all. So I'm really excited because Allie, we have a wide variety of people that are on this Zoom. You're going to see like brand new distributors, but then also some that have been I've been in 7.5, almost 8 years in July. And so it's just crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and have you introduce yourself, if you don't mind, and just share a little bit about your story. And then obviously we'll jump into some questions after that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I totally get it because in the last 10 minutes before I got on this Zoom, my boys were convinced there was a monster on their door from shadows, and we broke one of my kids' beds, which makes a parent feel really good when they sit on the kid's bed and it shatters. Um, and there was a bit of a bathroom situation. So I always say three gets better with four, but then I don't know. My 5-year-old just never outgrew that 3 stage. So that's where we are. And if a dog or a kid comes in, I'm sorry because Tom's gone. So it is what it is. Like, and you always, that's the fun part. Like, there are seasons of life. It's so easy to look at the social media stuff and like think, oh my gosh, like her life's perfect. Or like, oh my gosh, I can't like look. I see every one of Erin's pictures and I'm like, does she always look like that? She's like, just this like gorgeous, like photographed, and it's like, okay, no, but we have real life, we have crazy children, like all the things. So my name is Antonacci. I have been in the business, it will be 9 years this summer, which is completely insane. That's the longest job I've ever had. So I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a mom of three. When I started this business back in 2013, I had one daughter. She was 2 years old, and I was a nonprofit fundraiser. That was like my dream job. That's all I had ever wanted to do. That's what I'd gone to college for. And so I had, um, I wanted to help people. That was my thing. It was like, I don't want to go work in corporate America. I want to help people. And so I did. And I was in fundraising and project management. And I had landed what I thought was like kind of my dream job. But the hard thing is that when you work in nonprofit, you aren't in it for the money. The money was tight. My husband was in sales. While on the outside, things looked great. We had the house, 2 cars. We both had jobs. Our daughter was in daycare full time. Our daycare cost as much as our mortgage. And we were really struggling. Like our little dream life was not dreamy. We were stressed. We were really like, we were going down the highway at 80 with no seatbelts on. Like we were one catastrophe away from, I don't know what. Like we had maxed out credit cards. We had no savings account. None of us were ever wanting to ask our parents. You don't want to ask your parents for help when you're 30 years old. But we had done everything right. Like we had done all the things. So I was laying awake. I had seen somebody posting about this business on social media. I'd been watching her for 9 months. She had messaged me to host a party. I said, sure. Then I ghosted her. She'd messaged me about products. She'd messaged me about being on her team. I said yes, and then ignored, and then yes, and then ignored. And so like, if those of you who are getting ignored by someone, like, know that that's normal. Like, the right person could just be waiting for the right time because every person's situation changes every 3 to 6 months, right? You never know when you're going to catch them on a different day that they finally are like, yeah, I'm in. So that's why you keep planting those seeds and then you keep fostering it with sharing your stories and putting your posts up, right? So finally one day she had posted about a $10,000 bonus that was out there at the time. And our credit card balance was almost $10,000. And so I messaged her and I said, I don't really get what you do, but I think I need to do it because I need $10,000. So we met for lunch. She showed me a paper catalog, which I'm really dating myself there. And I said, okay, well, people go to the store to buy this stuff all the time. She said, yeah. And I said, so I just have to tell them to buy it from me instead of like going to Target or Walgreens. Like it's that simple, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So you guys, I signed up. I maxed out our credit card when I signed up and I froze. I was like, I cannot do this. My mom's going to see it on Facebook, my father-in-law, my brother, my coworkers. So I kind of freaked out for a few days. And then I realized there's a custom setting where you can block certain people. And so for the first 6 months of my business, you guys, I blocked my mom, my father-in-law, um, my brother, my coworkers, like so many, my best friend. Because my best friend, when I said, hey, I think I'm going to do this, hang on. I have a certain little puppy that really wants to be on my lap. So she said, I love you and I support anything you do, but I don't want to hear anything about it because all that stuff's a scam. Get off my desk. And so I even blocked her from my post. You guys, my very best friend in the world, like the person who's closest to me, like a sister, was like, and she to this day, you guys, has never been a customer. She's never been a distributor. And like, that's okay, right? We love each other. We don't love each other because of our jobs. We love each other because we're best friends, right? So I finally did dive in. I got hooked really fast. About 3 weeks in the business, I went to an event. I saw people sharing on stage. And you guys, now, thanks to the world we live in, you can't constantly be going to events. You got to stay connected online because that's the only way you're ever going to find people to hear stories to inspire you. And I watched people on stage, and someone on stage said, I knew this business was for me when I didn't want anyone else telling me when I could or could not see my kids. And y'all, I ugly cried because I was seeing my daughter awake about 2 hours a day and she was exhausted. Her teachers were getting the best of her. We were getting the exhausted child, the exhausted 2-year-old. And I looked at my sponsor that day and I said, I will be on that stage in 1 year. I will be on that stage next year. I didn't even know when events were. I didn't know how you got on stage. I just said, I will be on that stage. And I claimed that to the universe. That Monday, I picked my daughter up from school and her teacher gave me this like laminated like scrapbook page. And it was all the things they had done all summer. And it's up on my wall still because she said, here, this is everything we've been doing all summer. And it broke my heart because I was like, I should have been doing that. I should have been potty training her. I should have been taking her to the petting zoo. I should have done the bubble bus, right? So it broke my heart, but I pinned that picture to my cubicle until I was able to walk out of my cubicle. And then I framed it and it has been next to my desk because my kids are my why, right? I gave up so much. I was working a crazy job. I was traveling regionally. You guys, I was 60 plus hours a week. Her and I were out the door by 6:30 in the morning. My husband was in sales. We were getting into busy season. He was working 80-hour weeks. But y'all, I stayed up late. I got up early. I would get to my accounts 5 to 10 minutes early so I could send messages in my car. I would get a phone call and I'd race out to the stairwell or the bathroom at work. You guys, my office was above like a sushi restaurant, and I would have potential distributors who were local come meet me for lunch at Starbucks or that sushi restaurant because I had an hour off. They couldn't tell me what I could do, and I would be telling them about this business. I was hooked because I realized that it wasn't just about me. It was, I'm going to go make $1 million. Are you coming with me or not? And then everyone I talked to also was like, what are you doing? How did you do it? They were getting caught up in my excitement. And then by helping them, I was getting more excited. So 6 months in the business, I left my career, told my husband, he told me I was crazy, but I was like, well, I'm not going to hurt us. I'll go back in a few months if it doesn't work out. He was like, okay, whatever. When I get something in my head, can't really stop me. And I think he knows that. I didn't even tell him, honestly, when I signed up for a couple weeks. And I'll be really honest, you guys, he didn't like that I was on the computer or my phone all night. He didn't like that I was really caught up and busy and he was putting a 2-year-old to bed while I was at a wrap party. But I said, I'm going to pay off this $10,000 credit card debt. And then once I promoted to Diamond and got that bonus, I said, I can really do this, Tom. I can really change things for us. And he was like, you know what? Okay, go do it. And y'all, 1 year to the day of being at that event and saying, I am going to be on stage. I was on stage at Green Carpet in Florida and I was announced the number 56 earner for the year. 13 months, less than 1 year. It was really because I hadn't even gotten paid for that end of the month. So it was 12 full months of being in the business. And so for that calendar year so far, halfway through, I was already almost top 50. Um, and so from there, I was like, you're kidding me. Like, I didn't have any idea. I saw executive, Ruby, Emerald. It was a ladder. So I didn't understand that people didn't all go to the top. Like, I had no limiting beliefs. I had no preconceived notions because I didn't know better. And so often we're like, oh, you don't know better. You're worried. No, I was the opposite. I didn't know that that wasn't normal. So I just freaking went. I was so addicted to this business and it was so dang fun, But I will say, you guys, I trudged along those first 6 months. And I did most of it. I was a double diamond and I had done a whole lot of it. And, put a one in the chat if you feel like sometimes, dang, I am the only one doing anything, right? Like we've all been there. But you guys, my 32nd distributor I ever signed, she had a launch party and 18 people showed up. And 6 of them wanted to join her team. And I was like, whew, okay. And she was super pregnant. So I'm like wrapping people and it was crazy. And then 2 weeks after that, my 34th distributor, she had she's like, I want the community. I've always wanted to be in network marketing. And I was like, what? And then 2 weeks after that, my 36th distributor, I said, you just got to get customers. Focus on your first day. And her first day, she got 13 customers. You guys, what if I had gotten to 30 distributors and been like, this isn't for me. Screw it. I just can't find the right ones. They are Lauren Casmatis, Jenny Thomier, and Amy Spence. Two ambassadors and a presidential. Some of the most tenured, most successful leaders in our business. They have all been, Amy Spence, I think, might be the top enroller in our entire company right now. She's insane. Love her, but she's crazy. So, you guys, you just never know when the right one's going to cross your path. And someone told me really early on, there's 52 cards in a deck and there's only 4 aces. You might get really, really lucky and your very first one might be an ace. But you might have to draw a lot of 2s and 3s and 5s and 7s before you're going to find those queens and kings and aces, right? I happened to draw the 3 of mine in the same 5-week period. How that happened, Lord only knows. Because have I had someone do that again? No. But don't discount your walkers and your joggers. And, not everybody has to be a runner, I guess. So when you get hooked on helping the others, that's when it becomes so fun. So from there, gosh, I'm an ambassador 9 months after that. And that was in 2015. I just saw it on my memories pop up. It was March 27th, 2015. So it was 7 years ago, which is bananas. And now, I made the 2 millionaire club last year. Like, it's been the wildest ride. I've had 2 more babies through this business, you guys. My husband is retired from corporate America. He has his own handyman business. And, gosh, and we have been through pregnancies, miscarriages, postpartum depression, death in our family, just other family crises, dropping everything and going across the country to be somewhere for a friend. We've been through it all. And the amazing thing is, even when you can't give your business your all, it's still there for you. And there's going to be seasons where you can give it everything. Like this year, I have kids in school 4 full days a week. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm treating this like a 9 to 5. And I earned 5 Christmas cash bonuses because I was able to just go nuts. Now January, we had COVID, then we had conference, then we had a road rally, then we all had flu, then we had spring break. And we're in the middle of a massive basement remodel. These last few months, I have not been able to be that, but that's okay. Right. So, gosh, now it's just, I can't believe it's been 9 years, Erin. It's wild.
I know. That's what I keep thinking. I'm like, oh, I've been in 7. And I'm like, wait, I'm going to have to I'm already at the point of now I'm changing it to 8. And it's crazy because I was even talking to a potential on the phone today. And I was like, yeah, it was 6, 7 years ago. I was like, no, actually it was 8 years ago. This time I got introduced to the business. I didn't say yes for 3 months, but I'm like, I don't know where the time has gone. It's wild. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, obviously you mentioned some different struggles and things like that. And so we'll get to that in a minute, but what do you feel like? Cause you've seen in 9 years, almost, a decade in this, which is, even for me, I've worked in this business longer than I was ever a nurse. And I feel like this is all I know what to do. But what do you feel like is working best for you right now? Like enrollment wise, different things, because obviously, what worked 9 years ago is a lot different than what's working right now. So if you were building this business and brand new, or maybe in the, early stages of Diamondhood, what would be the things that you're focusing on for enrollments?
So I feel like there's kind of two sides. I really talked to my team. You obviously want to be focusing on enrollments, but also you want to be adding new people to your network every day, because you're never going to, you got to meet a few who lead you to a lot, right? So, I was like so anti TikTok. I was like, that is not me. I am not this like skinny, cute, whatever. I was like, that is not who I am. I can't dance. I can't sing. I have no talent. And then I was seeing people killing it on TikTok, and I was kind of testing the waters. And y'all, I had gotten nothing. I mean, I was throwing one up every week or two. And then finally, Facebook Reels came out. And I was like, you know what? I have sat back far too long. So I just started taking my old TikToks and putting them up on Reels. So I guess that was what, like September, October? And within a week or two, I had a couple go crazy viral. It was right at the beginning of week reels. And suddenly I had all these new followers. So then when I was posting about host to post, I was getting different people commenting, and it was leading me to adding new friends, and it was leading me to new people. So I think it's a combo of a couple of things. The main way I still get enrollments is host to post. Number one, I would still say host to post. And number two, I'm adding to my network through Reels and Host to Post. And then I am consistent about looking for product testers for gummies. Who wants to do a cleanse? Oh my gosh, you guys, I put up wrap results a couple days ago, and I take them from a wrap conversation to my upsell script takes them to 2 packs of wraps and a defining gel. And all week long, all of my customers have been 104 BV or higher. Like, that's crazy. And it's because I'm showing, I for a couple years there kind of got shied away from showing results. Guys, pictures do it all. You don't want to post them every day. You never want your page to look like a sales pitch. You really got to know your pillars. I have sarcastic, silly comments. I post stuff about my kids. I ask a lot of questions. I do a ton of interaction. I think that really gets my page going. Is I ask, my page is a ton of the colored boxes. I know some people are like, oh, I don't like all those on my page. I don't care, because it gets me a lot of stuff. Because then when you do throw up that funny quote or something, like last week I had one that had like 300 shares. Well, then that brought new people to me. So after that post, then I put up a gummies post, right? And I had 60 people commenting on it, and a lot of them were new. I live and die by my list. That's the other thing. Everybody does it a different way. I use a planner. It's really bright with my with my light here, but and it's just a daily planner, and I just write down everybody who hosts a post for me and anyone who engages me. Anybody who responds to that initial message, they get put on here. And I will show you guys, I mean, that's how I did so much in Christmas Cash, because I could see right there, did I get 4 host posts up or did I get 10? Like, I'm writing them down. And this is what the weeks would look like. As you can kind of see it. And they would get highlighted when they were kind of a hot lead. They'd get crossed out. But then I'd be working it, and then I'd be like, okay, I've gotten all my host posts up. Well, who last week do I need to go follow up with? Who? I can go back in this notebook to September 1st. That's when I started with this planner, to September 1st, and see everyone I never crossed out. Endless follow up. And y'all, I follow up until they block or delete or tell me, leave me alone. Like, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. I had a girl last night, or 2 nights ago, maybe it was. And she was like, okay, I mean, I know we've talked about this like 7 times, but I really think I want to do this with you. And I was like, what if after the 3rd or 4th time, I was like, oh, I'm just bothering her? No, I don't blow them up every week, but I believe if they are on your list, they do not come off your list ever. I used to keep legal pads, y'all, and I have stacks and stacks of lists of old names. And sometimes if I'm like, I don't know who to talk to, I'll go back and see who of those people I can talk to. Who did I talk to last year that I'm like, how are you? I don't have to buzz them about the business right away. Go to their page and very intentional interacting. And the other thing is, though, I do still just reach out to people who are my followers and ask them if they've ever considered doing this business. If they are following me, it is not a cold conversation. They know who I am, loud about what I do. They will see my reels, they see my posts, they see my story, and I say some version of, hey, how are you? I know you know what I do because I post about it constantly. Have you ever considered it? Are you open to some more information? I have said some version of that, guys, for almost 9 years, and it still works. So I would say it's kind of a combination of all the things, but majority it's add to your network, host a post, and post.
I love it. Well, and I love that you said, because I was you could probably ask Brittany Landrum. I would like call her and be like, I cannot figure out TikTok. I don't know how to put the text. And I just like gave up on it for a long time. But I think it's like so much more fun when you start to put like your own spin on it, right? Like you get to be it's like being yourself, but like way more authentic. And that's probably what is driving your followers up, right? Because yes, obviously you can get different examples of like TikToks and reels and stuff like that, but it's the minute that you start being yourself, that's really what changes the game. And like you said, you don't care if you have 50 million colored boxes. That's what works for you. And so I want you guys to hear that loud. That she said that like everybody's page is going to look different, and what your followers are going to interact with, or what they're responding to, or different things that they're engaging with. So I absolutely love that, because it's not all one size fits all, right? Everybody's network and different things definitely work differently. Okay, so you're obviously getting enrollments, bringing people in. What are the big things that you're focusing on as far as like training or onboarding new distributors to really promote this 4-in-1? Like, because I love it, because it's just a simple system. I think we've gone from like we went from like simple to then it was like only focused on enrollments, and now we're just like, no, we're getting really back to the basics and focusing on enrollments, or I mean not just enrollments, but the basics. So what would be your thing that you're focusing on as far as with your newbies, like the most important things that you're doing with them?
Totally. So, I think I always tell my new distributors from day one, I'm like, I'm going to match your pace. If you're ready to run, I'm going to run with you. I always tell my distributors too, I'm like, I am here for you. Send me every screenshot. But I also tell them like, but there's one of me and there's a lot of you. So if you have a question, I gotta have you speak up. I gotta have you tell me. I gotta have you reach out, because I can't get to everyone every day. So I'm very, very open about that. And I think also that kind of puts the ball in their court to like, oh, okay, like I'm like, I expect a text from you daily. I expect screenshots from you daily. And it gives them a little bit of power of like, okay, like I'm worthy of her time. So I've sort of set them up for that tone. And I feel like switching that conversation a little bit lets them realize like they're not waiting on me to tell them what to do. Like I give them our board, they have our team page, they have everything. We have daily tasks and a Telegram. And from that, I'm like, I want them taking action and coming to me. So that's helping. But we are focused so much on day one is talking about 4-in-1 right away and doing host to post. We get them, we do a giveaway before they even understand what host to post is. We have them put a giveaway post up. They even say like, my friend Allie or my friend Erin or whatever. So that way, like, they're like, but I don't know about it. And it's like, no, you don't have to. I promise, just put this up. We're going to let it simmer. And in the next 24 hours, you're going to totally understand why. And they're like, okay. And it will kind of freak some people out. But I'm like, I promise. Because they're like, well, my friend commented, I got to write back. And it's like, nope. Let it simmer, right? But that does stress people out, because they're like, well, but I should respond to them. And that's, for you and I, Erin, we're like, oh, we can let people simmer for days before we get back to them. But someone's like, well, someone commented. So make sure they understand that like there's no such thing as it works emergency. There's no, like, everything is going to be okay. But getting them to learn host to post right away. If someone they're pretty low on friends, we really focus on doing nothing but giveaway host to posts for the first week or two to really get them a lot of new people in their network. But obviously you don't want to wait a week or two before they're signing customers. So that's when we go to their dirt list. And their dirt list, what we call our dirt list or chicken noodle soup list, is those, I always say, 30 people who would bring you soup in bed, would go run and pick your kids up if you needed help. Those people, right? So you could sell dirt to them and they would love you to support you. Yeah, a wedding list is perfect. Go to your phone and think about who's the last 10 people I texted. Those people. And just letting them know, hey, I started a new business. I'm super excited to find some testers and share my 40% discount. Would you be willing to help me out? So it is for customers, but we don't say for customers before one distributor. That's it. From the second someone is posting for you, for the second someone is talking to you, we're going to mention the opportunity also. So to our dirt list, they say, sure, we give them like a 1 through 10 list of, do you want to grow out your hair? Do you want to tighten your stomach? And number 10 is make money with me. So there's always going to be a couple people like, I want to make money. And then every single person who hosts a post for us, even if it's just a giveaway post, you're going to then say, oh gosh, thank you so much. I've got you entered in our drawing. Side note, have you ever considered doing something like this? I scoped out your page and I think you'd be great at it. And they're usually like, what's this? What do you do? What are you talking about? But through even doing those giveaway host to post too, you're adding so many people to your network that then you're going to post about some gummies. We're going to keep those really simple. Gummies, giveaways, opportunity is kind of where we start. And then there's an upsell script, to go to Slimming System or something. But really simple. We're like, don't learn every conversation. Don't, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up in the chat too. But don't I never ever want a new distributor to be like, okay, well, I did this wrap host to post, and I had this other person do a weight loss host to post, and I had somebody else do an opportunity host to post. And it's like, no. Like, I want my new distributors learning and feeling comfortable with one conversation first and then growing on from there. Someone said you can put that one in the chat, the 1 to 10 message for HAP. That is not for HAP. It is like, what the dirt list, like if you were sending it to your mom and then they say, sure, they'll help you out and say, okay, I'm looking for people too. And number 1 is like, grow out your hair. 2 is tone and tighten your stomach. 3 is detox in 48 hours. Like it gives just like, so if they're like, okay, I want 3, 7, and 10, you can then know your sponsor is going to help you know, okay, you want detox, you want weight loss, and you want to make money. And then we say, perfect. And then your sponsor or me, I'm going to then say, okay, great. We're going to recommend this, this, and this, and here's how we do it. And I have my newbies straight up screenshot me every single response. And I have from their text and I'm like, okay, because I see their name. I'm like, Sarah. And then I'll write exactly what I want them to say back. And I'm like, and they're like, what? You don't need to do all this for me. I'm like, but every time you read it, you're going to learn it. I will send Aaron a bunch of scripts, and then I don't know if you'll post like the recording and then we can like put the scripts under it because they just get lost in the chat. I always feel like,
No,
okay,
I probably even have something. I was like, it's been around for a minute, the 1 through 10. And so that's why I was like, it's probably somewhere in my notes that I could easily find
I
it.
don't ever use it for like host to post or a stranger, but it's just that like dirt list, like those first few customers. Let's see. Someone said, when do you start deleting from your network to add new people if you hit 5,000? You can go to your friends list on your phone and sort by newest or oldest. I look for people who have no profile picture. I look through my high school friends. I got Facebook my senior year in college. Of course, all my high school friends and college friends were who I added first. And like, my question is, have I ever asked them to be part of my business? Do I want to ask them to be part of my business? Have they ever expressed interest? Am I ever going to talk to this person again? Do they add value to my life? Like, yeah, it's really fun to go stalk the guy that I went to school with from second grade on, who was like the quarterback of the football team and his cute little family. but he doesn't add value to me and my business, I will literally never see that person again in my life. Like I can delete him because my Facebook is for my business. Also, I send happy birthday messages every morning. That means you're looking through your friends list over 365 days. You are making contact with every single person. I can tell you I probably delete at least a person a day from just my happy birthdays of, wow, I like clicking over to their page, their first 5, 6 posts, especially if there's anything political going on, can give you a real quick idea if you want to be involved with that person. And y'all, if there is somebody who is like blowing you up about your business and you see stuff on their page that does not align with you or does not sit well with you, it is okay to tell someone, not really tell somebody, but for someone not to be in your business. You don't want just anyone on your team. You want the right people on your team. And if you put out your true, authentic self, you are going to attract people who want what is your true and authentic self. But if every one of your scripts and every one of your posts is from a board that Aaron wrote, and then they start talking to you, it's going to like sound like a different person. Does that make sense? So make sure that even in all these scripts, all these boards, all these posts, read it over. If you don't send a message that's, if you would never in your life be like, hey, girly, in a message, like, don't say it then. Like, don't, like, you still need to be your authentic self. I'm just kind of making sure I'm looking through all these
So,
questions.
Alan, will you talk a little bit, real quick? Because I obviously don't want to take up too much of your time,
You're
but
fine.
will
You're
you
fine.
talk
Kids
a
are
little?
sleeping now.
Okay, good. I think mine finally passed out because I don't hear any. I don't hear any banging or screaming. But what would you say? Because obviously, being in the business for a while, and you talked a little bit about different struggles and stuff. Did you ever have a point in your business where you just had to like really flip the script when it came to mindset? Like maybe you kind of just, I don't know if you want to say like got stuck in a rut, because obviously there's people that are new. And here's the thing, this business is a journey. It's not meant to happen overnight. I will tell you that. First and foremost, it's not going to happen overnight. It is not going to be all butterflies and rainbows and going straight up like this. It's going to be ups and downs, all the things. But what's something that you did? Maybe you've gotten into that kind of like funk rut, whatever you want to call it, or maybe just you're like kind of got stuck, like getting comfortable in the position that you're in, and maybe you're like, oh, I need to shift over here so I can continue growing. So what is something that you did in that time to kind of flip the script a little?
Totally. So, yeah, you guys, I mean, I've been through all seasons. And I will say probably the hardest season of my business was we tried and tried and tried for our second child. We finally got pregnant. We lost one. We got pregnant again. Had some complications during it. Finally had our son. We were like, we have 2 kids. We are complete. This is so exciting. And then when he was 8 months old, we were pregnant again. I mean, complete surprise. Yes, we know how it happens. Still a complete surprise. So, that was really, really hard. Because we were already struggling, like the balance, finding time for work, finding time for a baby, a very needy baby, a very active baby. Then all of a sudden I was exhausted and pregnant, and my third pregnancy brought on migraines, brought on sickness, brought on sciatic pain like nothing I had ever felt. And so I was exhausted. I was trying to keep up with then by the end of that pregnancy, it was a kindergartner and a 1 year old. And when you're so busy and so stressed, you start to get really down on yourself, right? Like it was I'm not good enough. Why can't I keep up? And the comparison starts. I'm looking at so many other moms in this business, the Aaron's and the Sherry Lynn's and the Christy Christensens and whoever. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? It's because I was only comparing to the highlight reel, right? And so after my second son, I did fall into some pretty heavy postpartum depression. Through that, then next year, I also drifted significantly from my enroller, who I was pretty clear that she just didn't really have a heart for the business anymore and showed some colors that were not really in line with who I wanted as my business partner. So that was really, really hard, you guys. When someone who you have worked like this, who you live down the street from, who you've known since college, kind of turns into someone you don't want to be around, and then can really put it on you, on top of the postpartum depression and the anxiety and like it was just too much to bear, right? Thank God for an amazing husband who 12 weeks after I had my son looked at me and was like, you're not you. You're not okay. You need to go talk to somebody. I did hire a personal trainer, and was able to like start doing that. But y'all, I straight up hired a life coach. And I paid a small fortune for a few months for every couple weeks to be doing, at that time it was Skype. How funny is that? Skype calls with him. And I'm still very close with him as just a friend and a business colleague now. But that fall still, y'all, I wasn't enrolling. I wasn't excited. I felt like everything I put up on social media was just for show. It's what I was supposed to put up. I wasn't honest. And then that fall, there was an Atlanta, no, maybe Atlanta. No, I was pregnant in Atlanta, Kansas City. There was a Kansas City boot camp. And I didn't want to go, y'all, but I did. I got my butt there just for one night, and it sort of lit a fire. And that day on the way home, I listened to a YouTube video by Mel Robbins. No, I listened to her TED Talk. Mel Robbins' TED Talk on the 5-second rule. And it's all about, even when you don't want to do the hard things, you just have to physically move your body because that changes what's happening in your brain. And then you have to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just do it. And then it's over. And so I bought her book when I got home, and I studied it like a textbook, you guys. And I remember reading it, like I'm going to get emotional talking about it. I remember reading it and like sobbing because she talks about how she just was like at this dead end. And it's not, I had this beautiful family and these 2 boys, and I had built a great residual income. But y'all, I will tell you, your residual doesn't just stay this baller crazy money when you haven't done all the work. Like, it's not gonna, the crazy bonuses and the cabs and all that, they do fade away. And so my checks were down so much lower. And you guys, I didn't know. I was like, do I go to another company? Do I go back to work? Does Tom go back to work? We had been debt free. We were racking up debt again. Like, I was in a bad place, guys. And I read that book, and I started getting up at 5 a.m. and I started working. And then, so that was probably like September, October. And I kind of got some things going again, and I was rebuilding some things, and I was finding my footwork. And then that February, I had heard people grumbling. So February 2018 about Host to Post. And I was like, ew, that's a transaction. That is not a relationship. Who would ever do that? That is not how we build our business. And then I was like, well, this Rachel Jones chick I keep hearing about, like, I had no idea who she was, is killing it. I'm going to try this stupid cleanse Host to Post. And I signed 8 loyals in a day. And I hadn't signed 8 loyals in a day ever in my entire business. And I was like, huh. And I was straight up copying and pasting from notes in my phone, from texts to myself. Like, I didn't have any of the shortcuts or anything yet. And then I was like, well, I'm going to just do it again. And the next month I signed like 20 customers. And I'd never done that in a month. Like, I was a 2 to 3 distributors, maybe 4 or 5 to 10 customers. That's how I went ambassador, because we had the duplication. It wasn't this mass enrolling that happens now. But it was at that point that I really realized that motivation is not what comes first. Okay. Everybody's like, well, I'm just going to get motivated. I'm going to get motivated. Motivation is not what comes first, and it will never come first. Melanie McFarland one time told me, excitement is a choice. She doesn't scream, I'm so excited every day, because she really is. She screams it so she makes herself be excited, right? Excitement is a choice. Motivation will come once you're already taking action, okay? So the way I look at it is like a circle. If you're on my team and on here, you guys have heard this a million times. So even when you don't want to, even when you are like, oh, I hate the world, I hate life, I suck at this, I'm not cute enough to be on TikTok, all of the self-deprecating crap we tell ourselves, you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you do the damn action. You put up the giveaway post, you greenlight message for Host Post, and you set a timer, 20, 30 minutes, and put your phone away, and you can still be grumpy. But when you take the action, what is going to happen next is you're going to pick your phone back up, and you're going to have messages in your inbox, and that's the activity. So action by you is going to lead to activity by others, right? And then how freaking pumped do you get when you pick up your inbox and it's like, yes, yes, yes. Well, how do I post? What do I do? It's like, oh my gosh, all these people ready to post for me. And then you're kind of excited, right? And then that activity, what happens? Then you get a little bit motivated to do a little bit more. So your motivation is like your third step in the cycle. And then you're motivated to take more action. So it's just a cycle, but motivation will never, ever, ever come first. I will tell you guys, I hate mornings. I hate them. I know that my body is almost 40 and I'm a hormonal wreck. All things are out of whack. So if I do not physically exercise 5 to 6 days a week, I would be like 400 pounds. My body just is not in a good spot right now. So my butt gets up at 4:55 every morning. So I'm at the 5:30 class at the gym. Do I want to? No. Am I excited to? No. But I get out of bed and I splash some water on my face and I put my shoes. I'm forcing those actions, right? They are not excited actions. I take the stupid dog out, feed him, and out the door I go. And then by the time I get there, what do I start doing? A little activity, right? I'm doing the warm up, getting warm, have some water, take my sweatshirt off, little high fives to some other people in the class. And I'm like, okay. And then the coach starts showing us the different moves, what we're doing. And then I'm like, oh, I can crush this. I can do it, right? And that's the motivation. Everything you do in life is that exact same way. But you just, I'm sorry, I've gone on such a tangent here, but it's like, y'all, on paper, I should have quit. My enroller bailed and drug my name through the mud. I had to find a whole new, she had told me all these awful things about all these people in this business. I had to find a whole new community of people. And that I was like, oh my gosh, these people are actually amazing. It's how I met Erin, really, is through like all these other leaders getting together. I mean, I could have let the depression take me down. I will say, a long-term time in this, 3 kids, a long business, racking up debt again, not easy on your marriage. But you put in the work, right? Your marriage is not going to be sunshine and roses every single day. I've been married almost 15 years. It is not like when we were 21 and dating, I promise you. But I don't just walk away on the hard days. I take the action. Maybe then there'll be seasons where your ship's in the night. So I put in a little effort to plan a date night, right? And then when you have a really great date night, aren't you a little more motivated to like spend a little extra time together? Or like, hey, let's grab lunch one day. These sort of things, right? This is your business. This isn't like a fun, silly job that you like do. And then when it gets hard, you walk away from. There's going to be hard days, but you also have to choose it every day, just like you choose your spouse, just like you choose your health, just like whatever you choose in your life. It can be really hard, guys, but hard doesn't mean it's over. I guess that's it. Like you just have to take the actions and be around the right people. That was the other thing I didn't know, guys. I didn't know how toxic some people that were in my life and in my business were, honestly. And once I removed that, oh, what a light. You just feel so much better about yourself. And, through that, you just meet the right people that I know on any, Erin and I talk every month or two, whatever. But like, if I was having a really bad day or in a really dark time or whatever, I could reach out to Brittany. I could reach out to Erin. I could find your people who are aligned with that same, they're in it for life. They're committed. And then those are your people, because I promise they'll be there on the hard days.
I absolutely love it. I think that was perfect and even better than I was expecting. Because I mean, that's the thing is, all whatever season of your business that you're in, there's going to be really great days and days that you just don't feel like it, and like just any of those things. So I absolutely love it, because even like I relate to you as far as like work, like my Kyle can tell if I have not worked out, because it just makes me like I do better with my kids. I do better with everything, because I just put, all the endorphins and everything else. It just makes a difference. And then you feel better, even like and you make better food choices. And then it's just that ripple effect that can affect all aspects. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up real quick. But is there anything else that you just have on your heart that you wanted to share with this group? Maybe, I know you've covered like above and beyond, and I'm like, just it's so good for my heart and soul too. I'm taking it
Oh,
all in,
well,
and I appreciate it.
I told you I'm a wing it person, and I'll be very honest that I never know what tangent I'm going to go on. I never know what I'm going to say, but I know that what Cami said on that stage at that first event was the one line that clicked with me that set a ripple effect for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that is still going. So anytime I do get the opportunity to speak on stage, opportunity to speak on a Zoom, I take it as such a privilege because I never know what that one phrase is that is going to have that ripple effect. I met Cami like a year later. I told her that sentence was what did it. She didn't even remember saying it. Isn't that crazy? And so we still look back at that. But I just think you need to remember that you chose this business and it's a business. Now you need to believe in yourself enough to know that you're worthy of it, right? Because if you are not believing in yourself that this business can truly be what you need, this business can bring in extra income, it can improve your health, it can create a more positive circle or a sense of empowerment. If you don't deep in your heart believe those things, no one else is ever going to believe them either, right? Same with the products. Do not take every single product. Find a couple that you love. If you are not a product of the product, what credibility do you have with your customers? If someone's like, oh, well, what products do you take? And you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't use them. Why would anybody ever order from you? Right. It's the same with this business. So you need to find that belief, find the circle, find your people, and do the work on yourself. Don't skip the self-development, guys. I know it's really easy. It's so easy to put it to the end of my day. Already right now, I'm like, dang it, I have not read 10 pages yet today. And I've had so many opportunities to do it, but I always push it to the end of the day and it makes me so mad. So don't skip that because you guys, I promise, I didn't know that was really a thing the first couple of years. And then when I went ambassador in 21 months, there was nothing left to develop. I was like a shell. I was so tired and I hadn't poured into myself at all. So don't skip that. And I promise that then on those hard days, that little bit of something can like keep you going. And my favorite one, if you guys want a good suggestion for like a quickie, if it's a podcast called Mindset Mentor, and it's every single day there's a new one, and it's somewhere between like 18 to like 22 minutes. Miriam, who's on here somewhere, I saw her on here. She's who turned me onto it. This is Guy Rob Dial. He is like my absolute favorite. He is amazing. And it's like so fast. I mean, I can get through it on the way to and from school, and I've like done it. But yeah, get your mind right and believe in yourself and just, I mean, you guys are on an incredible team. You guys are an incredible team with incredible, amazing leaders, and um just show up and keep connecting because even though we can't be in person all the time, like Zooms are worth it.
I love it. Well, and I love that you brought up too, because obviously, there are starting the little like spring city tours. So make sure that you guys go to the website, figure out if there's something that's close enough that you can get. Because if you guys notice from Allie's story, multiple times she said that it was an event that changed a lot of things for her. And so I just want to thank you for taking time out of your night because that was just so awesome. And my phone's blowing up. And I just appreciate you because you're pouring your heart and soul into our team. And so it's just that ripple effect. And so I'm just so blessed by you, and it was definitely good for my soul. So thank you guys
Well,
so
thank
much.
you. And if anybody's close to St. Louis, there is an event in St. Louis, so come see me. It'd be
Yes,
great.
and
I
make
don't
sure
know
you
the
guys
date of
shout
it,
out
but I
Allie
know it's
on
coming.
well, didn't they say? Did I see April? I don't know. I'm probably gonna be making that. No, that was Vegas. April 7th is Vegas. I don't remember what date. I saw too
I
many
don't
dates.
think. Oh, well, I may have. It is coming to St. Louis. It's just not on the website yet. So,
Okay, so keep
so
checking.
just
Keep
mark your calendar.
checking.
It'll be in there soon.
All
All
right,
right.
y'all. Well,
Well,
thank
thank
you
you. I
so
just love
much.
you guys.
Yes,
See
thank
ya.
you. Have a good night. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.